Evening all, welcome back to Space Engineers. This game is like a giant, train set. Welcome back to the SquadB Flagship. This thing is developing. You'll notice many changes. Allow me to point them out to you. First up, we have oxygen. And I can even take my helmet off without dying immediately, but I'm going to leave that flipping thing on. For a reason, because I'm running low. As you can see, my tanks are running low. But anyway, today we're going to show you some of the automated building stuff that I have been doing as I try and look at the floor. Basically, we've produced something which I just think is flipping awesome, and I'm sure many of you are doing this already. But let me show you. This game is just unbelievable because you have the ability now to do a huge amount of... Is that a light flashing? You have a huge amount of ability to do some quite interesting things. Let me show you. So as I come into my my workshop, yes, this is an automated probe creation facility. Let me show you. Basically, it makes one of those probes out there, but let me show you. So I come to my little rig. This is my rig here. And I go to projector, I go to blueprints, I go to ultimate, where am I? Ultimate, small bay, and okay. Ding! Right, now begins the tricky bits. You have to bear with me while I do this. Remote control, and I go to my camera, and then I basically just move this thing forward. Actually, I think that might do it. Ding! Now you see that block's gone white. See that? So basically, what I do is I just leave it now. So usually you don't have to do that every time. But then all I do is I click on my welders. Oh yeah, that's right, my welders create the ship entirely. Now it also sets up all the groups, it sets up everything basically. Switch the welders off because they're obviously very dangerous. And then the only thing I do have to do with this one is to then cut the sprue. And then obviously give it a bit of gas. And I think I have some uranium here. So this is something that I'll show in just a minute we've actually automated. But there we go. So we now have our drone. And then we can just, so imagine we could do that from the captain's chair. We then go to our wonderful thing here. I think it's actually that one. No, it's not. It's this one maybe. No, it's not. T. Oh, never goes right on the night, does it, brah? Remote control 5. There I am. Look, this is my drone. And as we just power ourselves out, look at that bay. Look at that little drone automated bay. It's awesome. And basically this is our drone here. So I'm just going to switch to front mode because we've just made 2. This is a drone which has got everything on it. So it's got everything from all sensors to antennas to decoys to sound blocks to projector. It's got its own projectors as well. And it's got a little warning flash. Look at that. And then this thing basically is what we use to go and probe stuff. This has the ability to also get into bases and so on, but really you're seeing the point. So if I just come here, you can see this is a great way to explore an asteroid, and you'll see all the groups are set up as well, and then you can even detect your ore as well. So that's nice, isn't it? I like this. So let's just get out of that. We then have, so let me just come out and show you this. So this is something that, again, you can now, what you could do with this is you could have, and you see it's got a second projector here. You could have a secondary build. So you could say, well, I want this drone to have guns. And so you set up the secondary build of this, and then it deploys guns. And you can then go and get them built in the second bay. So that is our little drone bay. That's what I built first to test the concept. It works very nicely. And every time I fly somewhere, to a station or to wherever, if I find a rock and I'm looking for a particular thing, I can do that. And they're disposable as well because they don't take a huge amount of resources to make that. So as long as you've got the resources, you can just churn these things out, which is wonderful. Now secondly, you'll notice that the SquadB miner is back. I did remove this thing, but it's now back and painted. But look at this. We now have a whole new part of the ship, which is the ship bay. And this is doing exactly this. Ignore that. That's a bit of an accident. This is doing exactly the same thing. So you see here we have our gantry, our rig, our construction rig, and what that's doing is basically building a. It's projecting the holograms. If I just put that block on there, you see there it basically enlivens this ready to be built, and we can mass produce ships. Now it can be anything. So if I go back to my thing here, you can mass produce anything you see here. So you can do absolutely anything, and I'll show you this working now. Let me just move this out of the way. And you think I need to put a flipping thing on it? Oh, there we go. I already had one. Bear with me. Should have tied it up before we did this. So let me go to Where the hell is the remote control? Do you know what? I don't think it has a remote control. Let's build one. Wow. So I must have done that wrong. I'm not sure what I did. This was a test. I did this very quickly. So let's try that again. Remote control. There we go. Control. And then we can just... So if I just move my head... So we can just get this thing out of the way. There we go. So let's just fire that into deep space. And it should dampen us off. Toodaloo! And then off it goes into the asteroid and it'll bugger off. Right, so let's go over to our warning lights. So you see here we have our warning lights on. Let's give you the full effect. So I switch them off. So the idea is, and I got this from a video I was watching, and I'm really bad, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Sage. And basically, let me show you what happens. So what you do is you bring your miners forward first. So you see here, they're just going to move all the way in. It's going to look lovely. And then what you do, now you should have your warning lights on. Beep. And then you have your alarm. Don't know if you can hear that. So that's just letting you know that it's a bit dangerous. And then the one thing that I did want to do, because this is why I think that thing was built a little bit badly, was all pistons, and I'm just going to move them a bit slower. 0.2. Okay, so the last thing to do is to then switch on the miners. Okay, so you see that probably didn't do anything. And then what we do is we retract. I'm just going to get a better view. So you see there what it's doing. It's basically mass producing the ship, and that's it. Now, because we've used, I haven't used conveyors, but you can use conveyor. Oh, I need to get back under there before it switches off, otherwise the welders will kill me. If it needs a bit of work, I need a proper control module, but as you can see, just switch the miners off and then it's all safe again. And you see there, it's just missed one or two things, but again, usually it's better than this. I'm showing you a bad example, but this thing then basically, in fact, what you'd be better to do with this is to swivel it around. So let me just show you what I mean by that. And then all we do is we can just cut that off. And there we go, and our ship is ready to go. Lovely stuff. I really am big fan of this sort of stuff. I think this is the kind of thing that Space Engineers does that is just excellent, and I think people are going to really respond well to this kind of thing. So that's it. This is something you can also do. So I can take control of this, and if I go to my camera mode there, you can see I've got my thing, so I can go forward, back, left, right, and so on. Oh, where am I going? Right, so if I move it forward, what you can then do is you can actually rotate the flipping thing. And you've got to be a bit careful with this. And you've got to know what you're doing. And I honestly don't. But then, and you see there, it's to go back to 1. See, it's very, once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy. So what we would do is, to build this properly, we'd build it like that next time. But there you go. So you have the ability now. And then obviously what that did there, and I didn't show it, but you get the point, I suspect, is that you can then basically have the ship automatically cut that off, having fed that into your reactor, so you've got power, and then basically it's off and running. So the automation of this game is there. You can do it now, and it's flipping awesome. And as you can see, we've built a whole bay dedicated to it, so our flagship is absolutely growing in stature. So I think this is definitely worth having a look at. And I've just realised the paint's gone round. I gave the ship a repaint. I don't know if you can tell. I like to think it's a more cheeky coat of yellow. I don't know if you agree. But you can see it's really just coming together now. I mean, just these little drones are fantastic. I love the fact that you can do. So let me show you. I mean, let's just actually do that now. We've got a bit of time. Let me show you. So if we wanted to add guns to this, let's do it in maybe a bit more of a kind of conveyor belt way. So if we put like small conveyor bits in here, then what we need to do is have where the hell are guns? Oh, there we go. So let's just put Gatling guns on it. So we could, if this is the front here, we could have something like this. So we could put 2 guns on it. We could put 4 guns on it actually. Oh no, that's wrong. Curse my eagerness as my phone bleeps. Flipping Twitter, eh? Where were we? So 8. So you see, we can just make like a nice deadly combat drone, and then oh, steady on there. And all we need to do is just connect everything like this. And the idea is you only need to do this once, because again, I really would stress blueprints are flipping amazing. It took me a long time to even figure out what they did. There's a lot in the game I never really figured out what to do with. But I must admit, this is, you know, very impressive. And this ability just to constantly have them and build them quickly. I mean, I didn't even know that if you had the blueprint connected to a source, it will actually just build the thing. You know, you can actually just weld it all in. You're not having to do anything. I love that. That has been something I've been waiting for an awful long time, I can tell you. Right, here we go. So let's just weld everything up. And I just realised I made a slight mistake here, but we can fix that. I'll just do it there. This is looking lovely jubbly indeed. So there we go. So we've got a set of gunners, and then all we need to do, oops, is put a small container in there. There we go. And we could even put an ejector and all that if we so wished as well. And what I'll do, and this is just from bloody months of building, well, months, but you know, weeks of building, just sick of having to go and get parts. I have my cargo cans all over the ship now. I know they're really not a good idea. It's very unsecure, but I like it. So what we do is we go and we put some ammirals. Oh, that's interesting. Why is that not? Oh, I didn't realise. Silly me. Silly me. You can only put this on one way. So let's just put a connector. Is there a connector there? I don't see the small connector. There we go. So we'll put a small connector on there. And then what we'll do is we'll put the cargo container on the... Oh, I should look at, I already have these things on there. So that probably will. It's not pretty, I know, but it'll do. And then all you do is you drop your ammo in, zzz, done. Now what we do, and this is where we are quite sneaky and cunning, is we then press Control B, and that then gives us a... I'm trying to find it. This is always slightly the problem. I can never remember where it puts them. Where are we? Ultimate drone, no. Ah, there we go. So we can go Deets, rename. So this could be Ultimate Drone, spell it right. Ultimate Drone with guns. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well that's a lot of work, right? Well, yeah, it is. We have that drone ready to us now, so I'm just going to access the port there. I'm actually just going to call this something else because these names drive me insane. Gun drone. Okay. So if we now return to our automated maker, and we do exactly the same again. So we go K, projector, blueprints, and we just, again, we could even build the big one now, but let's say we wanted to just build it and then decide to build it later. What we do is we go ultimate drone small bay, okay, so that then projects. We then hit the builders, looking good, done. Okay, then we just do the same again, so we put a bit of fuel in. Okay, there we go. What's that telling me? Oh, I'm low on energy. And then we just... Whoa. Why did that go in? And there we go. So we now have our bay ready to go. So let me just go and get some energy. And we can do this on the fly. So let me just run to my seat. Okay, so what we now have, if I go to K and... I always get this bit wrong. I'm never sure which drone it is. Nope, it's not that one. I should just name them. But the thing is, when you use construction platforms, they don't necessarily name correctly. So you've got to remember that. That could be it. Control 5. No, that's the other one. Just spin that round. Yeah, this is our other drone. We've got quite a few, as you can see. So let me just do T, K. Always goes this way whenever you're looking for it. T, so control. Oh my god, I've just picked the wrong one. I'm going to start switching these things off. So small reactor off. Let's go to this one. Oh, this is funny actually. Trying to find the right one. Let's just go in there and do it. Now you see, basically the beauty of this is that you can have the... God, these doors drive me insane. A bit sensitive on the old... Right, I hate that as well. Okay, so we've now got our drone, so let's just go into it. Remote control. Does it have remote control? What the hell is going on? Am I missing something? Did it not build it? I can see the flipping thing, it's there. Oh, it really is one of those days. Whenever you try and show these things, I think they just go slightly wrong. Remote control. There we go. I must just be losing my mind. So there we go. So we now have our little drone there. So let's just park him there. So what we can do now, and this is the wonder, is we go, okay, and then we can project our one with guns. And you see that? Obviously it's not it's not quite right, but bear with me. Projector. So what we then can do is we can then you know, move it up. Oh, it's vertical that way, is it? Did not know that. So you can see we can basically set it so that it's right like that. But anyway, that's the idea. And then what we do is we can just build the stuff around it. So, you know, it's very nice. Now, I might be missing something now. Let me just have a look. Yeah, I think you've got to really kind of faff about with it. But once you've got it, basically, it would then just project the guns, the miners, whatever it is you may want. And then you're good to go. So that is it. I think there is definitely something very cool about these little drones and the ability to automate them. I like the fact that you could actually just have, I mean, again, I've got a very slight list of stuff. This needs tidying up, but you could just have a huge list of types of ships, types of drones. And again, I built drones there, but you can build a little cockpit section there, fly that out, and then project into what you want the ship to be, and then fly it over here, press your buttons, and then, you know, remotely you can control these things, and then this thing would crunch in and build you. So it is wonderful. I do like that. And there are a few bugs, so look at that. That's a great example there. You've got to remember the projection is a little bit, you got to play about with it. But I would stress that this has completely reinvigorated the game for me. And I think if you've got a station that can mass produce these things, you're going to have a good time. And I think the reality is this is where the game is going, and it's incredibly fun, and I urge you to continue playing it. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.